for starters, what is innovation built on, or what starts innovation? Where do good ideas come from to plagiarize? But beyond that, in your experience or in what you've observed or what you've seen, how true, let me say, is the romantic idea of this one brilliant innovation coming from this one brilliant mind? Or is it maybe a more iterative, recursive process, or whatever you want to say about that?
Yeah, so I feel like your question's loaded a little bit, given
It
the
was.
answer
I'll
at
try
the
not
end.
to be, but it's hard not to.
No. Yeah, so I think a lot of what the innovation literature says is that while it does take that one person to finally put all the pieces together, it's extremely important that they're in a proper network, and the network nurtures their idea. And it's a lot messier of a process than all of the startup stories would lead us to believe. That it's a slow hunch. It's that someone has been kind of passively thinking about things, and this idea has sex in a way with other ideas, and over time that comes together in this new birth of an idea.
So saying that, for instance, at MTV, we were credited for more innovation than we necessarily did. Are there good stories there with this was already maybe in the works and we took hold of it? Or same thing with What If? Stuff that you're doing that builds on what other stuff people have done. Any good stories? Anything on your mind?
Well, I think I'm a big believer in execution. So no innovation will survive unless it's executed properly. I'm also a big believer in derivative thinking. It's nice to have an idea, but most ideas evolve into a successful model. And MTV started out as a video channel, and that was pretty creative, but when I was at HBO, we were doing the same thing, putting music videos on between the movies. So in that regard, it wasn't a terribly creative proposition. The creative part was, well, instead of doing it between the movies, let's do it 24 hours a day. And in the end, that's not a terribly creative idea. It's more of a bold idea. But of course, then MTV over the years has evolved into all sorts of thinking and creative expression that has, I think, perhaps earned it a creative DNA, if you will. Everything from taking the logo to changing it a number of different ways that was never done before, to short snippets of programming, which was pioneered by the music video, but also in other forms of programming. I like to say that we created the short attention span, not Twitter. But I think the Twitter's taking it to a whole new level. But I think over the years, it's known for a list of innovation rather than one big breakthrough idea. So that's more or less.
So that's more an innovative culture than one huge.
The culture is a key success factor. There's no question. I think process. I think measurable results. I think the idea that it's okay to make a mistake. So it's a combination, strangely, of a structure, I believe, and a culture that generates new ideas based on a lack of fear, if you will, to innovate. And I'm sure many people have heard of the classic case, the innovator's dilemma. And the dilemma in business for innovation is that you've got a product that works very well and you build up a successful business, and then you have something that succeeds it, like the digital camera with Kodak, but you're too afraid to make any bold changes with your business because that'll cannibalize your core business. So that's one of the things that constrains innovation. But with that being said, the internet and this new revolution, not new, it's going on now for 15, 20 years, has really turned everything upside down, totally, I believe. And I believe also we're living in an extremely, even with all the constraints, we're living in an extremely innovative time.